Hey, Dion Johnson here, also known as a womanologist, and today's message is for you if you are a woman who really wants to build boardroom confidence. You want to up your game, you want to elevate the way that you present and you come across and the way that you lead in the boardroom. So you know that my work is all about helping women to show up and show up authentically and to speak up powerfully and to shake things up influentially in their realm. But you may not know that actually before now, in another life, I was a property developer. I would buy rundown properties, renovate them, and get them ready for sale or let them out. I was a landlord. So this was a huge part of my early adult life. I really loved it. I still love it. And it was always this side hustle. So I always had my day job, always had this side hustle. And it was a real hobby. I really loved it. And I was always, one of my favorite pastimes was to go and check out auction properties. I would look, try and guess what they would go for, even if I wasn't buying at the auction. And then I would check out later on what they went for. And I remember one day going to visit this house, and that was up for auction very soon. And I was with a builder friend of mine. We were walking around. This house had massive problems. So upstairs, there were really great big cracks, like really gaping cracks in the wall. And we were going around and there were lots of people visiting. It was like an open viewing. And there was this woman there and she was on the phone. I don't know who she was speaking to. I don't know, a business partner or something, but she was obviously a real newbie at house renovations. She was obviously looking for her first deal. And as she was talking to this person on the phone, explaining to them what she was seeing, and she was getting really excited. She's saying the rooms are really big, the ceilings are really high. She was getting really excited. She was talking about what she could see needed to be done. She said, and she talked about the cracks on the wall. She said, you know, there are cracks everywhere. She said, it'll definitely need a replastering. And my friend and I, we were kind of overhearing her and we looked at each other and sort of had a little chuckle to ourselves because these cracks were like really major cracks. There's no way that these were going to be just skimmed over, you know? And so anyway, when she was really getting enthusiastic about the work, she was talking about the fact that there looked like there was water coming through the roof and that it might need a new roof. And she was thinking that's a good idea because we could actually extend up into the roof. She was really excited about this house. Anyway, after she got off the phone, my builder friend went up to her and said, "Excuse me, I couldn't help overhearing your conversation, and I've got to tell you, you know, these cracks, they aren't superficial. Like these cracks aren't going to go away with just a skim of plaster. But I'm suspecting that there's true subsidence. There's something wrong with the foundations of this building." And she said, "What subsidence?" She looked really puzzled. She didn't know what he was talking about. And you know, we could see that she had no idea what subsidence was, you know, or even any notion about buildings and foundations. And I was thinking about that this morning as I woke up. And yesterday morning as I woke up, I've been thinking about it for a couple of days. So I decided to go and look and revisit the meaning of subsidence. And the dictionary says that subsidence is a very specific issue that occurs when the ground under the house shifts or collapses or sinks to a lower level, taking some of the building's foundations with it. And this shift puts a real strain on the structure of the house, and one side sinks lower than the other, and it creates cracks. So yeah, I thought, right, yeah, I remember this. I remember subsidence. I remember it's a big deal. I remember that when it happens, it really affects the foundations. And this is a word that's been in my heart for the last couple of mornings. So I thought I'd go and look at the word foundations. And what the dictionary says about foundations is that it's the lowest load-bearing part of a building. So the foundations is the lowest part of the building, and it's and it's the part responsible for bearing the weight of the entire structure that's built on it. So if you affect the foundations, you affect the capacity of the building to carry weight and to load bear. Now, bear with me, I'm going somewhere with this, because the message that I really want to share with you today is that if you want to ramp up your impact and present yourself and your ideas in important meetings and ascend to a whole new level of influence, if you want to go up in gravitas and in clout, if you want to increase the kind of leadership weight that you're carrying, or if you want to build boardroom confidence at such a time as this, then we really need to be considering our foundations. So think about this. The marketplace landscape has shifted dramatically over the last 18 months. I know that you'll all agree, but even before the pandemic, I think I've been calling out, I've been speaking about the fact that there is rumbling happening. All is not well in the global marketplace. There has been rumbling and shaking and tensions and confusion and crisis long before the pandemic. But the pandemic really has had the effect of this colossal earthquake. And there's no doubt about it in my thinking that as leaders and organizations and industries, we really are encountering huge shifting, huge uncertainty, massive increased demands and new conflicts. We are individually and collectively, we are experiencing loss and great passing away, huge shifts in our working conditions and emergence of new needs for our workforce. My conviction is strong that we have been experiencing a type of land shift, a type of subsidence of forms, and wisdom dictates in this season that we revisit our foundations. So any woman that wants to prop up her power to influence and impact, any organization that wants to build capacity for greater impact on their people, their profits, or our planet, any industry that wants to respond to the call for greater inclusivity and higher equity and fairness and justice, we really must consider shoring up our foundations first. We can't be like the woman who wants to just plaster over it and, you know, just sort of go up into the loft and add more weight. There needs to be some underpinning. There needs to be some regrounding of our foundations. And so that's what I really want to talk to you about today. In my work with women who want to build the next level of boardroom confidence, I think that there are 3 building blocks to establishing a stronger, more steady foundation. And these are her character. We really need to build who she's being. We need to go back to the basics and just have a look and see who she's building, how you're showing up, you know, how you're behaving, how you're being in leadership. We need to check out your community. We need to think about the basics of who you have, your support networks, the people that you have undergirding you, supporting you, leading you, guiding you. Your networks is a true building block of a strong foundation. And your cause, the cause, what it is that you stand for, what is your mission, your assignment, the thing that you want to see happen as a result of your leadership. Like getting very clear about your character, your community, and your cause, I believe, is how we begin to revisit, to re-fortify, to underpin our foundations in leadership at such a time as this. So today I'm realizing afresh that everything that I do in my service of my clients is all about underpinning and making new the foundations upon which she's going to build boardroom confidence. She's going to build greater boardroom confidence, greater influence, greater impact. You know, like with any building, like right now, where I am right now, over the way there's a block and they are going up. They're going to build new floors on top. and they've been going, nothing's happened on top yet, because what they're doing so far is digging down. They're shoring up the foundations, because that's what you need to do if you want to carry more weight. If you want to go up higher, you need to build lower. You have to strengthen lower the foundations. So if you are under the sound of my voice right now and you're thinking to yourself, boy, it's been a while since I've given my foundations some serious thought or attention. If you're thinking that, if you've been trying to up your boardroom confidence, but you're still struggling to show up in your power when it's time for you to speak up and shake things up, or if you know that this particular time and season is calling you to a whole new level or a whole new dimension of leadership and power and authority, and you know it's time for you to be more visible and vocal and publicly powerful, my message for you today is simple. The shift of this last 18 months, and I think actually longer than that, the shift of this last 5 years in business has been significant. And in this time of post-pandemic recovery, as we're imagining and reimagining the way forward, as we are going forward to a new normal, as we're establishing what we want to see in our organizations and our industries going forward, it's time for all of us to begin underpinning and fortifying our foundations. I hope that as you're listening to this, that you'll be encouraged to at least carry out a survey on you and your leadership, and inspect, is there any cracks? Are there any misalignments? What's not holding up? What's not meeting the mark? If you see anything, if you decide that you're going to take this survey, you're going to take this inquiry, I want to say, don't ignore anything. It's time for us to revisit the foundations. We have to shore up the foundations before we can build up, before we can build back better, before we can build back stronger. It's time to revisit those foundations. If what I'm saying resonates with you, then I'm inviting you to stay close. There's a link that accompanies this video. Just join my community. Let me share with you when I'm releasing these broadcasts, when I'm releasing events that will help you to really shore up your foundations. My name is Dion Johnson. I'm the Womanologist, and I'm wanting you today to remember to check your foundations so that you can build back better, that you can build your boardroom confidence, and that you can build back stronger. See you later.